What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the close. We are getting ready now for some of the biggest earnings reports that we've seen so far this season. In fact, probably we will see. This is Super Earnings Week. Welcome to the Thursday close. Hope everyone is having a great day. What is your favorite stock today, guys? Let me know in the chat right now. Tell me which stock you're following right now. I need to see it. My Tommy says, did you just wake up? No, I've been up for exactly half an hour, sir. Anyway, I've got the coffee, man. You can't just get up and have the coffee straight away. For anyone that doesn't know, yes, it is about 6 a.m. in the morning for me. This is what you have to do when you trade the US market. Still the best market in the world. Don't worry about that. We'll be going through plenty of stocks today. Of course, we have Aapl, Amzn, and a few others coming through. And we have plenty of stocks that are running fairly hard. We have that Tesla open that came in around 3%, 1,070. We've got the Nasdaq just powering. I mean, this thing, wow, can't be stopped right now. Or can it? It's probably going to come down to this earnings, but very, very strong action. And I'm just starting to look here at this Zillow. So we've been watching Zillow now as a community for, oh man, I don't know, too long. But when we've been watching it, we haven't actually ever seen it close anywhere that's pretty significant. We've had it close outside of the downtrend, which happened over here. We then kind of started to pull into this idea that it's recovering. It had that one bad day where it gapped below, and now it's having a really good day. It's pretty significant closure here happening. It does have earnings in 5 days, but you've got to think this is one of the first signs. What is this? It's like a double bottom. We have that first sign of recovery coming through the back of the lows. We're above both moving averages, being the 50 moving average on the daily and the 20 moving average. They'll cross soon, no doubt. And this was a rejection candle followed by some follow through that's now being bulled against. What's going to happen? Short sellers are going to be partially squeezed around this area. This has been rejection, and rejections here. Not bad. The old Zillow group coming better. JK says, that's Zillow garbage. Doesn't really matter. The thing that you're really trying to do here is you're trying to figure out if price action is improving. Whether you like the stock or not is, probably a bit different. JK seems a little bit angry today. You okay there, JK? You okay? I'm just reading some of your comments. So we got here, Facebook, Snapchat is ripping, says Jacob. All right, let's have a look at Snap. Then we'll get into the markets. Then we'll go through the others. Ripping. Yeah, I don't know if it's ripping. I guess it's improved from the hideousness that it was in. I wouldn't say it's a rip. I mean, it's ripped part of the loss. Part of the loss. Look, if you're going to pick up, let's say, deep value or like some kind of, pick up, this is not the worst area. We obviously had a support through $50. It hits 51.60 as a low, and it's finding some base. It's just really an investment guess, isn't it? I mean, as a trader, if you pick these kind of positions all the time, you'll get busted up all the time because all you're really doing is having a pure guess. I mean, it's a pure guess, educated, because of course you know where the low is, and that's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, really. But you just need to be aware of what you are doing. My calls are up 40%. Oh, man, you're playing with fire. I can only assume that it's like very short dated. Good luck, sir. Good luck. Spotify also has a nice continuous breakout here. Very strong action here. But across the board it is. We'll look at Apple in a second. Let's get into this US 500. So is this about to snap that little rejection that it had the other day? Pretty surprising. You get a little, well, not really. I mean, bulls are always optimistic. It's always more chance that the bulls are going to be correct than the bears. But here we have the shooting star. Then we have that little bit of follow through. And what we always say is you need that for further follow through. Didn't happen. Didn't get any more lows. And if you had more lows, I'm convinced that you would have seen further shorting, because once you have a new low that gets taken out, so let's go into the smaller time frame, it's very significant. What happens there is it starts that kind of bad sentiment for the day. The algorithms get into it and it continues. So let's say Apple have horrible and Amazon's horrible and all of that stuff doesn't work out. and it does get back underneath here, do still expect this to be a significant level where you get algorithms that potentially sell it back into that 4,500. I have stated a few times I wouldn't mind it to do this. I've also stated that I'm optimistic into November. This is just more of a scenario. If you missed out, there could be some opportunity in here. Realistically, we are bullish into the end of the year. Any pullback that is probably going to come is most likely going to be bulled up. And that's just statistics based. It's just what the market does after corrections. It's the standard kind of thing. Adam says, have the bears been slaughtered? They've been slaughtered for a while. Bears have always been slaughtered. When you're in a recession into a full-on bull panic zoomer mode, which is what happened last year, we're now in consolidated bull territory. I don't believe the bears will win out. And I've said this several times now until something around, this 2026 and a half plus. So if you think about me being bullish overall, obviously there's going to be bullish, there's going to be some bear points where there's corrections. But in general, the bulls, I believe, have control for many years. That's just my opinion, not necessarily anybody else's. So that's fine. Let's have a look at Facebook in a second. But yeah, overall, S&P 500 playing with the top, 4,600 being the key resistance to break out. Once the Aapl result and Amzn results there, if we get a closure above this area, very significant. Further bullishness, you would think, is coming. I still believe that at some point we will get that dip that will pick you up around here, but you may have to wait some time for it. Let's have a look at the season axe. Let's just go bring up the season axe for a second here. So in the season axe, if this plays out the same way, that's all the dip we got. So very puny dip. Notice how it was around the high. This is the S&P 500. So it actually happened around the high. We got basically very puny selling into the back end of October, which is where we are right now, remember. Then we got a huge rally, and then we got a pullback back into the previous highs. That's about it. That was all it was. Then, of course, it continued rallying. So if we're going to take the seasonal averages and we're going to think about it that way, all you can really be is mostly bullish with small pullbacks coming in. Hopefully that makes some sense. Let's move over here to the US 100. This is very strong. Big closure for it here. 2 rejection candles. It's coming into a monster close above. As long as Aapl holds up and Amazon hold up, very big closure for the Nasdaq. New highs, very bullish. Many people probably very excited about this because it's significant. There's no way it isn't. Eli says the bears have mercury poisoning from the much salmon. Yes. Mutant fish. So we always laugh about the fact that bears have come down out of hibernation into the river. They're eating that salmon. Unfortunately, this time it was mutant genetically modified fish with arsenic, and it got them good. Go with the flow, $5. Please check out INO. Thank you very much. Go with the flow. In the weekly, do you see an inverse head and shoulders inside of the possible second upswing of a larger inverse head and shoulders? So you're saying like Inception, head and shoulders within head and shoulders within head and shoulders. Sure. Facebook is no more. It is called Meta. I must be missing the joke. I don't know what that is, but that's all right. We'll check it out. If they don't tell me they've renamed, that would be insane. I'm pretty sure that isn't true. Okay, let's have a think about this. Facebook back above on the weekly here, back above the 320. Now, as a FANG stock goes, you could do worse than Facebook. Hey, I mean, this is not necessarily that bad. I mean, you're getting a discount price here. It is down. Big close here for it. Basically, this would be like max pain. So remember, we talk about how markets sometimes close below, trapping bears into thinking that the market's going much, much lower. In this case, we never thought it was going under 300 anyway. But it goes underneath, triggers people selling. Now, as a beginner trader or even an intermediate trader, you probably shouldn't sell the market because it's not easy to do so. Facebook now reversing this decision and going back above the daily 200. That's pretty significant. Obviously, 340 is your big plan. So that's where you really want to see that further. That's where the participation will come in. So this will be the big part of the part. But this is a good first step. Closure above here is significant. follow through to the 340 is very good. And if you like Facebook, of course, your aim is 380. That's pretty good percentages out of a FANG stock if you believe in it. This is a significant closure. We've got about 18% to the high here. It's true as of an hour ago. Facebook equals Meta. What? Oh my God. Let me just quickly check and see if you guys are making me go crazy. Just need to do some verification here, guys. Facebook changes its name to Meta in major rebrand. Oh, wow. Hey, that is... I mean, does anyone like that? Does anyone like that name? It's taken from the BBC News. I will not verify it, but here we go. What the... It reflects who we are. What? Because you're Meta. We're Meta now, guys. We're on. Oh, that is wow. Let's see if anyone likes this. The metaverse. It's so shitty. It's so bad. Wow. I mean, I'm shocked. It's so weird. It's like when Yahoo, dying company, changed its little logo and it sucked. Or that I mean, I've seen some horrible logo changes and horrible rebrands recently. The metaverse. Meta lame, says Ryan. Meta world peace. That's right. Yeah, well, anyway, it seems like it's true. So thank you. You weren't trolling me, chat. It is on the news. We'll go with that. That is so weird. Well, if rebranding to Meta is good by the market, obviously people are. That is. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just weird. US 100 again. Big closure here for it today. Earnings will be the big call. Let's have a look at Tesla. So Tesla goes from strength to strength to strength to strength. I get a lot of questions about this. We have been bullish Tesla. Should you be bearish Tesla right now? No. Should you be trading randomly short on Tesla? No. Don't short something that's out of control, guys. It's going crazy. How do you pick this up? Very difficult, actually. You might be able to trade it on the 5-minute, 15-minute charts within the day. I mean, obviously that is possible. But when we're thinking about, where we are, what we expect, is there any kind of reoccurring thing? I'm just going to go with the 2-hour 20. It's the only thing that so far has picked up through this big ramp. And I'm sure there's some smaller time frame moving average that you say, oh, but Tom, it's on the 15-minute or something. But yeah, for me, it's all going to come down to this 20 moving average 2-hour. That's what I'm looking at. Would you close up here? Probably not. I mean, even though the candles look bizarrely bad, we've seen some things. I mean, that doesn't look good. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't look good. Volume is dropping a little bit here as well, which we expect. But 2-hour 20, what can you do? It is what it is. Thad says, I already own an Oculus. Well, now it's not called Oculus anymore, Thad. It's the Meticlus or something. Meticlus. Meta, Facebook heading down. NDX selling off. Yep. All right, let's have a look. Big closure, big day. Let's see what they do in the hour of power. Nasty Wall Street. All right. So there it is, a little bit down. Let's talk about Aapl because this is a fairly significant closure. So Apple's decided to go early. I don't like it when stocks go early. Why does a stock have to go early? So there's our 150. We've cracked it. We haven't closed above it, but we have cracked it ahead of earnings. Congrats if you're in it, I guess. We'll see whether it's going to be good soon or not. But yeah, cracked to 150. If earnings is bad, obviously we may come back underneath 150, go to the 146. 150 will also now be a roll reversal zone. So if we end up getting a closure up here, let's say tomorrow it opens around 150, finds a little lightning bolt or something, for many people, that's going to be participation. Let's go to new highs. Let's get on this. So all eyes will be on this one. This is the stock to be watching along with our Amazon. So if we go over to Amazon, now this one is right on resistance. This is more what you expect from a stock before earnings, right where you don't want it to be. As in, if it closes above, great, fantastic, things look recovery. And if it continues to move down, obviously it's breaking the trend. We have downward trend here, guys, on Amazon at this stage. We have our first stage, lightning bolt. We talked about this zone. We talked about our bullish intentions coming into November. Should it hold up? I still think that it should. Let's hope guidance is okay coming out of Amazon. And this has been the sleeper fang. This is the sleeper. Why is it the sleeper? Because it's been sitting since July. I mean, you're basically getting August price in 2020 at the same point as here. It's not a crappy company. We know that. It's just that it moved so quickly, so fast, it's been consolidating. This is pretty much the last sleeper fang. I mean, you might say, oh, metaverse. The metaverse is also a sleeper, but that has its own political problems. Here, now they're rebranding. Amazon really is more, it's consolidated. Can it now move forward into what has historically been one of the better seasons for it, being that November, December rush into Thanksgiving, into Black Friday, into whatever? Who is buying? Are you guys buying right now? I would like to see this thing close above this 34.61. And I have grand plans for you, Amazon, should you do what I need you to do. Because I want Amazon to go to 4,000. Well, actually 3,900. But I want a lot out of you, you dirty, dirty thing. I like this one. Fang equals Mang. Let's go back and do that. Where is our super chat? I'll get back and do it. Hey, Dave, could you just grab me the super chat? I need to go back and do that for the gentleman. Unfortunately, it's all right. I can get it. It's okay. Go with the flow. INO. Okay, let's do that now for you. Weekly. In the weekly. All right. Do I see an inverse head and shoulders? Shorts INO. Let me make sure that's right. IN. Not sure. What is this it? Are you talking about a monster head and shoulders or something? Inverse. Huh. Can you just go with the flow? Can you just tag Dave, Marvin the Martian? Just ask. I think he's around. Because I'm not sure if this is the one you're talking about. I don't really see an inverse head and shoulders here, man. See the beginning of a lightning bolt, trough, peak, higher trough, higher peak, which could be coming through today, which is very good. But yeah, I'm not seeing an inverse head and shoulders. Just tag that code and I'll go back over it. Thank you very much. We'll be back soon. English Teacher X, $5. LCID, is that going to gap fill up to 65? Wow. We'll have a look at maybe Neo as well a little bit later. Lucid. Oh, big breakout for the resistance. Obviously, Wall Street bets or something on this one. That's a huge move. Is it going to gap fill? Complete guess, man. Unfortunately, English Teacher. This is not. This is outside of a breakout, but in terms of what your expectations become, let's say you go, all right, we're in a big channel. All you can really do here is just take the distance of the big channel. There's the maximum pain, and you would extrapolate that out. Why did it stop here? Well, that's my guess, because it's just around $40 and it's the distance of the channel. These Wall Street bet pump things, which I assume it's something like that, they've usually only been like 1-2 days. They're not going for very, very long. They're not like really holding up for as long as you would hope they are. And yes, it's gone very, very hard, but $40 is what I see. I know it had that massive move in it back in Feb when every one of these things was going crazy. I don't necessarily think this has to play a gap where it has to fill, because this type of stock doesn't have to fill, but you are basically just social arbing. You're just hoping that the height remains. I'm not so sure. If I was getting into this, my aim would have been $40 and I would have been done with it. That's my personal opinion based on what we've seen technically. I'd be pretty happy with that. And I'd be like, okay, it's all good. I'm done. LCID all over it today. Yes. Lucid hype is on real delivery news and better reviews than Tesla, but breakout is insane. Yeah, I don't really believe. You need a lot more follow through than that to really believe. You think it's better than Tesla? I think it's questionable. But that's all right. If you like this kind of thing, then that's fine. It's worth a lot of money too. It's worth $56 billion. Jeez. Quite a lot. All right, let's go through a couple other stocks here coming into the end. What else have we got? See, is PayPal showing deep value yet? It's in our little green zone. Hasn't seen a turnaround. We'll continue to watch PayPal. It's been pretty damn sick. Let's have a look at Twitter. Have they rebranded yet? No. Twitter is still showing weakness. We expect that to go really further down into the $50 range. So hopefully it gets back into this area. AMD looks terrible on the charts at this stage. So just be careful there. And again, the end of today so far coming to the Aapl news is fairly strong on both indices. So Aapl still holding up, but has pulled back a little bit here on Amazon. You can see the test. This is a significant breakout should Amazon be able to hold above the downward trend, and Aapl significant breakout above 150. Looks like it's going to hold above there ahead of earnings, and then we'll find out with the earnings where it ends up going. RK for some people, really showing strength here, back through, and then hopefully we move back up. Where's the next resistance for RK? A lot of people will say this. Don't work too much on resistance support, though, with an ETF that holds a whole bunch of stock. It's not going to work that well for you because remember, it may not be stock all in the same sector. So while it breaks through, it might just be one stock. Maybe it's just Tesla that pulls it through. So just with RK, ARKG, if you do trade these, it's not that great to use TA on them, in my opinion. mRNA, we'll have a look at mRNA. Go with the flow says, I think my eyes were crossed. Yeah, I think go with the flow. Lightning bolt for sure on that stock that you asked me about. However, I wouldn't look into it any more than that. Just lightning bolt. If you like that recovery, that's the way to go. Today's confirmation close is fairly significant for that stock. mRNA coming back. Got a bit of a previous support becoming resistance. It is slowly chugging away there. Some people are going to have a little trend line behind it. So we've got a little trend line. Nice. Series of higher, like double bottom base in the smaller time frames. Get past 360, you can fill the gap, and there's some good little trades in there should it occur. But just be careful of the 360. What is this? 362. So be careful of that on mRNA. Cat, please, for Souza. Yeah, I've been watching Cat, and there is good reason. So I think you're actually very smart here on your TA. I watch this closely right now for that exact reason. Very, very good. Well done. Exactly what I'm looking at. So you've got support. You've got a seasonally good time for Cat. Pretty statistically good. In fact, I actually talked about this in the mentoring. Somebody brought it up. I agree with them. We've seen downward trend become obviously more bullish. Got a good base. Got a lightning bolt occurring once it closes through. This is pretty marginal at this stage, but with support, resistance. Obviously, we close above. Boom, 220. Old boomer stock, sure, but definitely opportunities to cut this. Big options market, that kind of stuff that you can do. So, yeah, nice base. Significant closure. It isn't quite to a new all-time high. Like, is it not all-time high? A new high over this peak. But I do like Cat and I like the base. Thank you very much. Very good. Al Joshua, $4.99. Hey, Tom, can you check AMAT? Sure. Also, we'll check out crypto after the close, after we've seen the Aapl stuff, because crypto is all over the place. In fact, we might even have to have a look at it in a second, because this is weird. It's going crazy both ways. It looks like it just had a huge supply. Yeah, it was going nuts. It went down pretty hard, and then went up, went down, flashed back down, and it really likes that 58. It just keeps buying heavily off that. There's a big buy that just came in. AMAT, very good resistance across the board. Let's take a look at the weekly. Nice. Yep, I like the weekly. This should be a little bit lower. There we go. So we've got really good channel here. The cool thing about the channel is if you break a channel, you can take the distance. So for AMAT, that would be fantastic. Look, I would probably wait for a weekly closure above the 143. But nice little base formation, actually. It's a good pickup off the bottom of a channel. Very solid. Great 4-hour, 2-hour type of chart. Let's have a look at this on the 2-hour. If you were watching this, oh, yeah. Really good trade. Fantastic pickup, especially here. Oh, I like that so much. Nice. That's a nice trade right there. 2050, previous resistance becoming support. Fantastic. When you see that, beautiful. Now you're in the middle, so you're just looking at that 143. Break of 143 on the weekly, it will most likely go up. Facebook selling off seems like it was just a hype. You can't call it Facebook anymore. It's the metaverse. Yeah, it's coming back down. So with Facebook, remember the closure above 320. Closure is the key. We want that, and then we want 340 plus. Jacob Waterman says, any suggestion when is a good time to short Tesla? You are playing with pretty scary numbers, but you're obviously looking at rounds. So 1,100, 1,200, those kind of prices. It's a guess, man. You don't really want to short an aggressive trend that much. If you look at it on the chart, you would think, oh, it looks short, but we've seen Moderna, we've seen AMD, we've seen plenty of stocks go and pull very big percentages out of things. The other thing as well is sometimes when there's a huge amount of calls sitting from retail and they're about to expire at certain levels, you can find like call walls. That can be a chance, but it's mostly a guess. It's less of a shorting is hard. Shorting is hard. So we're 1 minute off the close. US 500 just continues to really show that strength into the end of the day. US 100, bam, new all-time highs here. Phenomenal stuff. This thing it can't be stopped right now, guys. Look at it go. And it's not even these two stocks driving it. We've got Square up 3.35. We've got Enphase doing another day up. Wow. And I cut that one up, actually. That's all right. TDOC, 7.6%. This actually is now broken out to the upside after the earnings result. I must admit, I didn't read it, but that's a significant closure here. This is the first repair for a very long time. TDOC finally coming through with the repair. And to put it in perspective, this stock is heavily down. It's got that maximum pain concept, which is good. It's then recovered. I bet you everyone hates this stock still, but that's actually a very significant daily close for it. So TDOC on the repair. Big ramp here. I wonder who it was. Maybe it was Kathy Wood purchasing it. Who knows? So here we go, guys. Let's switch into the earnings mode. Tesla 1,077 into the close. 3.8%. Damn. Cannot be stopped. And we got the Aapl and the Amzn. Hoo-hoo. Epic 4-hour candle on BTC. Yep, I'll switch over to it and show you guys. Look at this 4-hour. Well, in fact, I'll just go to 2-hour. Oh my goodness. It just full on came down, took out the low, found full buying pressure. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. And then it came up and now it looks like it wants to go. That's a huge candle. That's like literally going in, taking out everyone's stop losses. Because that is literally taking it. There's a stop hunt and a half. I love it. Only because it's coming into a market that traditionally hasn't had these. And now it has been a weakness signal before, but yeah, that's a huge position. I wanted this ideally. I'm still long. I mean, I'm just looking for ads. but long into the BTCs to the end of the year. But the concept here is 54 would have been cool. We still may get it, but that's a huge 2 hour. All right, here we go. Amazon earnings must be out, or at least the algo is going nuts. 3% down, is that right? Or was that just BS? No, it's 3% down. Let's load it. Oh, the news is just like Facebook changes name to Meta everywhere. So 2% at this stage, post market for Amazon. Then we got the Aapl in the post. Now it's down 1.36%. These post market readings from the algos have been crazy. You guys saw it. Think about TDoc. Think about Twilio yesterday. Twilio up 5 or 6%, then down 17%. Zillow chugging along? Yes. Fang is now Mang, which is crazy. Tom, how come the QQQ is still going up on low volume and sideways action in the Fang? Well, it's just everything else in the NAS. So if you have, I mean, it's not really sideways action in the Fang, is it? I mean, the Fang is not everything anymore. I mean, as you know, Tesla's in there as well. That isn't in that Fang. So it's not everything. It's a lot. There's 100 stocks in the NAS. I mean, that's just what's happening. So we've got 0.94 now for the Nasdaq. We've got 0.87 for the US 500. If we maintain that we believe the markets are going to be strong into the end of the year based on seasonals, based on strength, based on China telling that guy from Evergrande, hey, you got to pay up, man. That's the punishment. So now, of course, they're going to be doing some bailos. As soon as I heard that, which we suspected, because the thing is they can't bail a company and set precedents without really punishing somebody. And they've got to punish that guy's wealth. Makes sense. 4.26% now down on Amazon. Is the guidance sucky? Supposedly there's a Squid Game cryptocurrency and it's up 2,400% in 24 hours. Wow, so stupid. Mark Wilkins says, he is definitely buying the first pullback in TDoc. OCGN closed above. That'll be happy with that. Earnings are out. Yeah, 4.24. Bezos will come in and go alien on them. So percentages coming down here for the NAS after hours as we see these earnings roll out. Amazon missed 6.12 versus 8.92 expected. Ooh, that's a pretty big miss. Guidance will be the key here, Vladimir. Guidance will be the key. So what are they saying? Is it, just, disruptive changes in the purchasing? I mean, Kathy Wood's been calling this for a while. She's been saying that there's a lot of people that over-purchased during the pandemic and that they slowed down and moved to services, which I agreed. I'm not thinking, this doesn't really worry me for November movements in Amazon. I mean, obviously I was waiting for the earnings results, so I still want to see the price action come good. 32.90. It's not there. It was just there last week, so it's not like it's epically bad. To give you a perspective, it's right around here. What we need is this. We need the breakout of the downtrend. So this thing here. We didn't get it today in the post because you can see here it closed right on it, which is always a good indicator. And then if we close above there, we can get into the participation foes. Amazon is just making room to the upside. Next earnings should be a beat. Well, I think this allows the TA to get to get involved. So let's say we hold here, move back up over the next week or so. As we know, 4% is not epically horrible or anything like that. We'll see how it ends up being. If we move back above here, repair through the downtrend, you guys can see this is what a TA trader wants to do. Look, someone invested, obviously they're not going to be happy. They're going to be like, oh, damn it. But a trader, you've got to just sit there, and a lot of the time taking positions into earnings is more of a gamble fest. So when the earnings comes out, look, you generally with a quality company, you're probably going to see bull side, but not necessarily. We've proven that with Aapl as well. Left-hand side ramps. Aapl is often a buy the rumor, sell the fact. That's the way it is. Over here, we hit the resistance. We need to see a little bit more, and then we can get into the aftermarkets action. That's going to be good. Eli Colner, $10. No message with that, Eli, but thank you so much. I'll give you a clap. Thank you very much, sir. Bitcoin is ripping. Yeah, Bitcoin had a monster pullback up on it. Thank you very much, Eli. Appreciate your support. Oh, there is a message. 1 second. Nope, just loving the community. Thank you very much, sir. Set limit orders with iPoof. See how that plays out. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So down here in the post-market, 0.67% on Aapl, 3.23 on Amazon. That has slightly subdued the NAS, but we can't change the fact that the Nasdaq overall closed at an all-time high, and it split both of these candles. It's a very significant breakout. Again, look, is there any reason to be bearish? No, we get no follow through each time these rejections occur. It's just like a 1 day in the pan, no follow through, crappy looking to the short. Short is hard, buy is easy. We all know this. Short during certain times of the year is good. September, August, February for the Nasdaq, those types of times. But in general, we have been in a very big bullish run. What else are you guys saying? Yeah, so revenues miss on Amazon. Markets still doesn't really like it, which makes sense. 3.44. I think it's fine. I think we're basically just going to see here the reality of whether we're going to ramp after. It's good. It gives us the TA. It gives us the ability to now find the confirmations. Post-market again for Apple's all over the place. Let's go through some of the highlight stocks of the day in terms of closures just while we wait. So TDOC, 7.7%. That is a highlight closure. Many people will now be looking at it to come back down to things like swings like 145, even this 148. A lot of repair has been done here. Let's see if we can find any other trend lines that could be worrisome. No. See, I mean, this is super significant. It's gone through all of these previous. No matter how you really draw that, it's a big closure for it. Big closure on the TDOCs to the bull side. Let's have a look at the bar bar. We haven't really followed that for a little while because we're waiting for this to probably inverse head and shoulders. Let's have a quick look. Show you guys what I mean. There is deep value in the Chinese stocks should you like them. There's the inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, 2050. Looking for it to close above this level, above the 180. And then, of course, you've got a fairly decent participation ramp level. Will it happen? Time will find out. Certainly something people will be looking at. JD is kind of similar. It's based on the support. These stocks are all kind of showing around there. NVIDIA continues to strengthen here. There is a gap fill that could happen on NVIDIA. So it hits 250. Pretty big psychological for it. A lot of people will like this now at around this level. So around that 230 could be an alert that people set in the future. Roku still floundering. Twilio just hard, but it is in that deep support level, but just hard in general. DKNG, pretty hard. Airbnb, Chop City, looking for a closure above 176. PayPal is in heavy support. So this is getting into that level where people are going to start to try to buy it up. How's the old Zoom going? God, this company really sucks. you know, I hated it last year, and I still don't think it's very good. But it has sometimes trades on it, so we continue to watch it. TTD, Trade Desk, round support. I also saw that Coinbase is now on, I think it's the most downloaded app in the App Store at the moment. Resistance becomes support. Have we had earnings now on this? This is for X. Steel, right around a very good technical there. Make sure the earnings is over for it. J&J still looks good in the weekly. Looking at getting past that 165 is a key level for it now. Basically, it would be an inverse double-headed dragon, I call it, with the head and shoulders here. 166. Wow. Once it breaks out, look at the weekly. You'll be very, very happy with the time on that. If the weekly and the 166 comes through, fantastic. Very good technical. Apple 151.60 at this stage. ND says, you say hard like an American. Hard. Shop was weird today. They missed but rallied. Let's have a look at Shop. Shoot. 1457. Yep. That is a weird looking chart. I would not trade that technically. It looks hideous. Very weird chart. At current resistance, somewhere around this area, about that 1500, I guess, is resistance. Close back above, that'll be significant. SE, I looked at SE recently. 352 big trend continues on the weekly. They did need to go to rally. Just remember, this company burns cash out of fashion. It burns it. I like the company a lot. It's probably hurting Amazon really now with its expansion, its rapid use, its crazy ads. Shopee. If anyone's seen the ads, they're nuts. Look at the Singapore one. They're pretty crazy. It's like free bubble tea and they yell at you and it's crazy. So we have here the 50 exponential being where most people are rally purchasing it. But it does burn cash. It misses one earnings. Deep value will happen. One earnings is all it takes on something like Shopee or SE Limited. Amazon now trading 3.7%. So it looks like it's going to settle around this area, which is just where it was a few days ago. So nothing too epic. We now wait for the technicals to take over and hopefully we can get involved in those. Just thinking if there's anything else that's broken out that I'm thinking, oh, yes, this is. I'm sure there's some stocks that are looking fantastic. Where's Trip at the moment? No, bottom of the range. We'll wait for it to get back above here. That one fell off a cliff. Needed it to turn here. It did not. And what else? HCAT. That was pretty good pick, I think. Looking for it to get through that 52 for this and then continue up. That'll be a fairly significant closure should it get through 52. Good report out for Western Digital. Remember when Western Digital, I used to always buy their hard drives. I remember that. Long time ago. Good report out. Doesn't look too good, Ryan. The market doesn't like it. The market says, oh, that sucks. I mean, that's down 8.78%, unfortunately. Cheetah PSG says Amazon is starting to turn base exactly in demand zone. Yes, on my chart. I'd take profits on the run up before close, right before earnings, avoid the IV crush. Fair enough. Then reevaluate after earnings result is out. No worries, man. It's actually a smart play. Sousa says US oil closed slightly. Let's have a look at US oil. I'm not really bullish on US oil at the moment. Let's go 4 hour. That's a very significant support. It did start to turn. Yeah, I'll stick with what I'm saying. 86, problematic zone. If it cracks it, then we can start talking about 92. But at this point, I am neutralized on oil. Square looks better than PayPal. Yeah, on the charts it does, of course. The recovery is more real. Kathy Wood's been purchasing this. It's through the downtrend. See that downtrend, spiky highs. It's found a lot of support around there. So yes, much, much better. Ryan says my car is bullish on US oil. Yeah. You should be bullish on SU. Suncor Energy. I'm bullish on the closure down here, which is a great one. Am I bullish on its current price? Not really, but it is still a very nice breakout. I mean, like a lot of these energy companies, they're making those new all-time highs, or not all-time, new highs off the last couple of years. And you're looking to fill into around 36, aren't you? So yes, great breakout today on this one. Andreas says conference call in 45 minutes, report in 15. Yeah. Apple earnings 4:30 p.m. EST. We're just watching. TV repair man needs it now. Thank you very much to the 700 people joining us. If you enjoy the stream, please remember to subscribe. Smash that like button. It does help us out. And we also have some free cheat sheets if you want to grab them. Got a super chat coming in from Ally Colner, $10. Team is printing fun coupons. Like this one. 7.71%. Am I out of the loop? What's a fun coupon? This is on a big ramp at the moment. Let's go down to the daily. Daily 20 is what seems to be hugging. Daily 20, daily 20, daily 20, daily 20. 448. Oh, so much big uptrend here. $105 billion. Monstrous ramp for a very long time. For a while there, it looks like it was holding the 50 on the weekly. And then it just started into this extreme phase. So when that ends, there will only be really two scenarios. Sideways action for a very long time, similar to an Amazon situation, or it gets blown off pretty hard. Team massive beat. Yeah. It has to be a massive beat for us to go up off this. Must be massive. 7.29%, but you got to remember the left-hand side is lots of rally. So the beat, instead of, when we always talk about the market comes in at a 7 to an 8, that's a 10. And the market basically, I think the beat's like an 11. Tom, have you checked TAN already? Says Mark. No, we haven't looked at TAN, but it's very strong. You know, I like this index right now. I think it's rotating fairly hard. Been following N phase for some time. The whole solar index seems to be very, very strong. And when it broke through over here, even though it just did it, very significant, big bullish moves here. We've been following it now for what, 2 weeks? Been talking about it. It goes from strength to strength to strength. And I mean, the next level is 106 here for the TAN. So there's still a lot in it. I mean, people get scared and they say, oh, it can't rally anymore. Have you seen the rally this thing's gone on in the past? It's gone some epic rallies. So very strong. Great 2,200 behind as well. Fun coupon equals money from, oh, okay, Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. You know, you'd be surprised. I actually never finished Wolf of Wall Street. And you'd think, oh, Tommy, surely you've finished it. I don't actually like Jordan, whatever his name, Belfort guy. I don't, whatever his name is. I can't get behind it. I think the guy destroyed people's lives. So I don't support it personally. Never finished it. I watched the start. I was like, nah, stuff this. And then I just never went back. X good earnings. Yeah, I like the X trade. So again, this is the X trade 2460. You probably guess it was going to be good earnings based on the other steals that had come out. Yep. Nathan says, unpopular opinion, Wolf of Wall Street sucked. There you go. But yeah, I know most people would think that I watched that film. Never. Just never finished it. I know the story. I read enough into it to know what I want to know about it, and that was good. Margin call's a different story. Cordy says, right on, Tom, ethics matter. Yeah, I just don't like, nah. Not cool. I always think about the older people that were, stuck in effectively the scams. And they had their life savings and they get wrecked. And what of it? No one seems to care. I care. It sucks. Slobodan likes it. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I just don't like the dude. You can watch the film, but I just don't like the dude. Visa dropped hard. Yeah, Visa dropped very hard. So we're waiting here for the old Aapl earnings, and then we'll find out what the action is. Big story is really that it closed above 150, and then we move towards, I guess that 160, 165. It did break out ahead of earnings. It's anticipating a good result, or at least a result the market's going to move off. Interesting, because of course Aapl gave us guidance a little while ago that they were having a problem with chips. So this is usually a good quarter for it. Apple's biggest kind of big months generally tend to be that August period. They have a very good strength metric in them, and they have a very good October metric. Now you may say, well, why is that? Because these particular earnings reports are generally positive. This one is generally positive because, oh, guys, our new iPhone. We're selling so many, guys. It's so amazing. And then they say that. And, of course, the guidance is good. And then they go up. Starbucks missed. Let's take a look at Starbucks. A bit of TA on Zillow. You can literally go right back, Rob C, to the beginning. I did Zillow almost straight away. You know what I like? That film. Was it called Trading Places or something? Is that what it was called? And that film. I love that film. So funny. Trading Places was sweet. That's an old school one. Post 110.99. Starbucks misses supposedly 111. Big support for 109.50. Flat on Starbucks. Geez, that looks like almost a head and shoulders on the weekly. It's almost happening as we suspected. A little bit later than I suspect. Oh, actually, no, I was talking about it here. Okay, fair enough. It's back down to the same level. So my thought process on Starbucks was all of the poor little small coffee shops got destroyed through the pandemic in America. As you see economies open up, which we have now, then we see the little beatnik coffee stores come back in. They start to take a little bit of the profit away from the Starbucks. People go back to supporting their local business. Let's use we've got 700-800 people here. Have you guys gone back to your local coffee shop and you might have been using Starbucks when there was a whole bunch of Bustaramus ones? Have you been purchasing Starbucks, or are you going back to your local coffee shop? Personally, because I prefer the smaller coffee shops coffee, I would be at the smaller coffee shops. Let's see what people think. Yeah, Eddie Murphy, yeah. Second for ZTA. Guys, I did ZTA. I'll bring it up. I'll show you. But I've done it a few times. So I like the Z. You guys know I like the closure here. This is a very solid close into the end of the day. In fact, that is, a close above very good resistance. We know that it's already had that first stage of recovery, which we've been talking about now for a little bit. And that's a significant closure breakout off a double bottom. The earnings kind of sucks because that's coming in 5 days. I hate that type of stuff, but this is a great breakout early. You take the distance, 84 to 98. We're going into 100. 100 might be a little bit of a psychological, but based on this, we have the strength that should push us through 100. Yeah, really nice base. Great recovery off the downtrend. Moved above the 20. The 20 and the 50 now act as dynamic support. Quite a lot of things. 3 minutes till the earnings. Matthew Harris says, Tom, you got to remember you live in Melbourne, though, so you know what good coffee tastes like. Yeah, we are snobs here of coffee. That is true. We have some pretty damn good coffee. If you come to Australia and you end up going to Melbourne or Sydney, probably Melbourne's probably the best coffee state. Who knows after the pandemic stuff? But yeah, Melbourne, pretty good roasts. Good roasters here. If you ever get the chance, definitely, if you like lattes and espresso shots and stuff like that, I definitely recommend quite a few of the roasters around Melbourne. They're very good. PayPal TA. Yep, we've looked at PayPal. PayPal's TA is basically just we're right down in, I guess, where investors will be looking. So this is the previous supports. It's dropped off a cliff. We're in the area of, I guess, what an investor would call buy the dip. That's for you to make a decision. This is just what an investor might say. And if you're looking for a turnaround story, you're looking for lightning bolt formations around here, base formations like double bottoms, channels, that kind of thing in this area. This is the area for PayPal to turn around, should it do so. Be careful a little bit for like one of those maximum pain kind of grabs with stop losses, just in case it happens. Remember, we have been as low as 230. You've got to have a little bit of, an investor will have to have a, well, they probably won't have a stop loss, but an investor will be looking at this area. Lucid TA, there's nothing much we can say. Lucid hit up to the main resistance, which was around 40. If you took the, what is this? There it is. So for me, $40 was where it was at. The way I got that was I took the distance from these three lows, not the random one. You take the resistance, you take the channel, extrapolate that out, and hits $40. J&J, I still like J&J. J&J weekly, very compelling story on the weekly. We would like to get past the 166 for further ramp. So not a great day for it, but once it gets past 166, very, very strong formation here. Good first scale. Now we'll look for the second one through. Bam. That would be fantastic. Shop bull flag. I'm not going with shop TA. Shop TA is just all about 1500. It's big issues there. BA being Boeing. Still downward trend here. I have no idea where that line is. There's our support. Cool. Do I think plug looks good anymore? Oh, here we go. Here we go, guys. Post-market 148. 3.2% down on Aapl. Bam. Ooh. Brr. Brr. What's that doing to the US 100? It flogged it. Went from 0.8 down to 0.41 straight away. That's how big Aapl is. 146 just hit that big, hit the level. Hit the 146 there in the post. Hit the little red zone. Oh. Damn. Get me the call, guys. Get me the call. What is it? What am I doing? Where's my call? So supply chain shortages. 146 just hit in the post there. Straight in. I don't understand this action from Wall Street today. I really don't. Unless it was some kind of weird trapper zoo. This weird. Big stories so far. Facebook changes its name to Meta. Apple's post result, obviously not great. Amazon, not great either. Aapl pushing that 146 support in after hours trade. This is smashing around that NAS. We're now down to 0.34% up on the day. So the NAS, when we get the Aapl back. Plug, that's actually a decent breakout for Plug. Plug has ramped a lot. All these solar, plug, electronic, whatever the hell, green things They're all doing quite well at the moment. Look at TAN, very, very big breakouts there. So this could be the real deal across the board. Oh, 145.61. Facebook changed its name to what? Yeah, Meta. Meta. Oh my goodness. I'm calling it Beta from now on. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds? They'd all be confused. I'm going to use my Facebook. It's now called Meta. What's that? I don't want to use Meta. I use Facebook. Sorry to the 50, 60-year-olds out there, but you know what I mean. My parents. They'll be like, I use the Facebook. The market's really moving. Yeah, I know. 145. This is a big deal on Aapl. Aapl is the mover. Let's have a look at the NAS. So the NAS rejecting here in aftermarkets action. All right, spots to watch for the next session now. We got to get these supports up so you guys can see. I'm going to draw a big line here. That is a very significant level now for day traders. Should we continue further sell-off here, thanks to the big one coming down, being Aapl, then this area here will be one that day traders watch heavily through the next session, whether they want to try to buy that area, 15,520, or whether they try to sell off. If it gets underneath, you could see some real ramping on the way down. Apple supply chain worse than expected. Yeah, but they kind of said this to the market, so it must be much worse. Apple Q4 EPS 124 versus 124. So Q4 revs 83.36 bill versus 84.85 billion estimate. So it's in the guidance. It's the guidance, yeah. Now, Apple says supply chain worse than expected. It's on the support, theoretically. That's the zone we've always targeted, that 146. Some people will like this in the post-action because you've got the 20, the 50. Not that that matters. Let's go look at the daily. I'll show you. One sec. Oh, this is the daily, yeah. So 2050 on the daily, previous kind of level of resistance and support, so 145-ish area, which is always good. So a lot of people will look at this, but this is a bad sentiment driver for the rest of the market. As we know, Apple controls a lot of sentiment. We're now only 0.3% up on the NAS. S&P still holding very strong. How weird is this? Very rare you see hits on some of the FANG and such misses on other sections. That's pulled Amazon further down now, 5.27%. Will we see Amazon go to 3,200, 3,180 again? Huge support through the 3,180 for people there. November still very good for Amazon. Remember this, especially if you have like one of those things that says, oh, best Black Friday ever. Not going to really change any of our thought processes. This is exactly what we kind of in some ways hope for, which is if we do get that pullback, 15.2, 50, 45, 44.80, 44.90, 4,500 on the S&P and ramp into the rest of the year. That would be ideal. Jacob says, oh my OMG, negative 5% on Apple. Yes. But we got to put it in perspective. It's only a week ago price. Try 3,500. Nah, I don't think so. House of the Rising Funk. I don't think so. If for it to be 3,500, the US market, Evergrande has to fail and they need to let it through. And obviously that will begin the second coming. Unlikely. Nah, not bearish, just pullback, maybe. Well, when we're saying bearish, most people that say bearish are talking like this. Every bull market has little turns in it. They're only little turns. Like, it's a totally different scenario. If you're talking, we're not saying correction. I'm not saying correction. We're saying small couple of day sell-off, which is very common in any up market. 2-3 day sell off, 2-3 day sell off, 2-3 day sell off. If you've missed the opportunity to be in so far in this big bull run change, I'm just saying these levels are ones to watch. But yeah, correction, very unlikely to happen after a correction. Statistically unlikely. Fed tapers next month. I don't know how people can be going bull into the end of the year because you've always got to be an optimist, Jacob. You've always got to be an optimist. If you're bearish all the time in the markets or even thinking like the Fed taper is not an unknown entity. People know about this. The Fed knows about, I'm sorry, Fed, Wall Street knows about this. It's a known thing. People are bearish. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Little turns, hey Chen, little turns. I'm still laughing at Facebook's name change. Wow, that's bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Statistically unlikely. All crashes, guys, finish from, they all start and end in one area. What's the biggest asset class in the world, guys? Give me the answer, chat. Let's see if you got big brains. Let's see if you really know where the big asset class crash come from. I want to see it, guys. I want to see the smartness come through. We got 800 people here. Aapl supply chain badness is causing that stock to be down. Thank you for joining us. Let's see if anyone here has the biggest market in the world. Let's see if anyone realizes. I want big brains. I don't want small brains. Someone said SHIB. It's not SHIB. Everyone's saying bonds, but I don't think they've got big brains. Few people are saying the right thing. Now they're changing their tune. Good work, guys. Yes, it is real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate. Not bonds, guys. Absolutely real estate. Now, when you think about it, what's 2008? Oh, it's a crisis in property and credit. Guys, it always starts and ends in property. Even if you love real estate, the stock market, you've got to admit the stock market will have big corrections, what look like bear markets, but epic financial crashes start in a different area. That's what you've got to follow. That's why the Evergrande stuff is serious. However, I believe that when they targeted the billionaire and said, you pay $500 million, $1 billion or whatever, $1 million of your wealth or something to pay off some of this debt, that's a story of saying, you know what, we're going to kick your ass. We're going to bail this thing up because we have to. But eventually that will be where it all comes. And no, it's not Charizard cards. PSA 10, BGS 10 Charizard cards. I'm an idiot. I should have bought that Charizard card PSA 10 in 2016 for, guess how much it was back then? Have guesses. Charizard PSA 10, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. 2016 when Pokemon Go was fairly large. So it did spike slightly. How much do you reckon it was? Let's see if anyone knows. So post-market here, Aapl 145.52. This is a bad result. Supply chain issues. Amazon also very negative into the close. Two big fangs not doing so well. Apple's around that kind of supportive zone in the post-market. So a lot of people are going to try to pick this level, which is fair enough in a quality stock and probably come back once. I remember supply chain issues will be eventually fixed. So that's something that you can always be slightly optimistic on. This has pulled back the NAS from being a very big close to all of a sudden looking a bit more bearish. Level to watch in the next session is 15,522. All right, people are guessing. Jacob says 100K. Trio says 3K. Rob C says 500. Nah, first edition is worth more than that. I will state it first edition. So it's the one that's now worth about 300,000. Probably Koa's close. I had it purchased at 11,000 US. And I said, nah. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. It's worth about 300K now. So it was $11,000 in 16. Cheetah says, yes, real estate is ubiquitous. Was thinking of a commodity or market cap, but real estate crisis really underlies so many big economic trends. It is the world. It is the world. The stock market pales in comparison of size to the real estate market. Real estate is the beginning and the end of all crashes. That you will not convince me otherwise. It is the true failing in the markets. Doesn't mean you have to trade real estate. The stock market will actually mimic or first tell you that everything sucks, and then real estate will obviously crush the rest of it. On housing, ask yourself, is there undersupply or oversupply? Is it still under today from 2008 crisis? Builders pull back in no America. Well, that's right. You have to watch the market. You have to think about it a little bit. I'm not going to go into it anymore. This is something I very closely track. I do talk about in the mentoring, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of a tip. Charizard's worth 300K. I think I have some of those in my loft. Yeah, it's not the first edition, believe me. And it's not PSA 10. It needs to have a little one underneath it, and it needs to be, mint. Minty. There's not many of them. There's probably only 300 in the world. I'll show you my comics one day, guys. I got to do that. I know you wanted to see it. They're not fantastic. They're not the best in the world, but it's an interesting asset class. Comics, the cards, stocks. We love all these things. They're all good. Real estate. I love it all. Bonds. No, I don't love bonds, but I used to. Love bonds a lot. Thank you so much for joining us, 755 people. We have Aapl missing because of supply chain problems. It's hit support after hours. A little bit of purchasing here now, 146, 147. Hit the zone. To me, that was the zone that many people will try to have a crack at it. See the US 100 coming down. If you are a little bit bearish on it, you're looking for it to follow through 15,520-ish. Other than that, still bullish. That's more of a day trader kind of level. Bitcoin, massive rebound. Got to say, this was surprising. Huge pull down, taking out new entries that were going short, and then full reversal on that. Very sporadic market here on Bitcoin. We'll continue to watch the story. Still bullish into the end of the year. Was hoping for a 20% pullback in this current correction. We'll see whether that still happens. And overall, the BTC, the king, is still controlling the market. There's the downtrend that you want to break. Gareth Evans, $2. How's your cat? Yeah, she pulled up okay. But it was a bit not the best. I never like seeing the animals in the pain, and unfortunately, she fell from a probably about a 50 cat lengths height. It wasn't good. Casey says you should remind the chat room to hit that. Usually works. Yes, I'd say it's a bit bruised, Gareth, but okay. $2. Thank you very much. QQQ, please. We brought up the Nasdaq quite a few times. Remember, just same thing as the Nasdaq. You're just watching it. So 381.93. The level here is exactly the same. Whoa. What the? Ugh. What was with that liquidity feed then? Just like flicked up and then flicked down. Twill got hit. Yes, it did. Market knew about supply chain issues. Yeah, I'd say it's slightly worse than they expected. So Aapl, look, remember, market comes in 7 to 8 on the optimism scale. Aapl say, hey guys, we got bad supply chain issues. They sell it off. They're like, nah, it's probably not as bad as we thought. Oh, it's about what we thought. And it comes back to the exact same price. That's really what it's done. SHIB is a car crash. I haven't actually seen SHIB. I saw it, what I thought was a blow off yesterday. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, it was. Oh, dead cat bounce. Not my cat, but technically a TA dead cat bounce. Yes, I'm pretty happy with that. That is an absolute classic. That is an absolute classic. Monster sell-off over 20, 30%. Huge rebound, gets to a 61.8. I'll show you how to find a dead cat bounce. I shouldn't really call it that today. Let's have a look here. Fib retracement, take the distance, extrapolate that out. Oh, absolutely perfect. Comes back to the 76.8. Oh, yeah. Bam. Goodbye, Shib. Goodbye. All the way back down to the support. We'll get a new low out of that one. Money's going into Doge, I believe. I did see that as well. Let's have a look if Doge has improved. A little bit of Doge money. Dodgy money. Doge hits 0.34. Yeah. I mean, it's a breakout for Doge. I don't know. You really interested in this one, guys? Come on. There's so much better coins that still give you good percentage. LTC, ETH, and BTC are on fire today. Well, they've had big turnarounds. The turnaround story is solid across all of them. I wouldn't call them like monstrous fire on BTC. It was hideous before, if that's the right. Let me have a look at another BTC. Did they all do this? Yeah, they all did. That's a massive grab. Nasty, nasty, nasty. All right, we'll end it there. So thanks so much, guys. I'll make a video about this. Aapl stories of the day. Facebook changes its name to Meta. We are now in the metaverse. Yes, that is not an April Fool's joke out of season. That is a terrible name, but you guys can tell me what you think about that. Meta for Facebook. Aapl miss on their expectations. Obviously, supply chain issues are threatened. This is not new to the market. The market knew it, but they've pushed it back down to decent support. Not heavy support, but decent support, around 146. That's kind of shocked the market. And the other big story has been Amazon. So we have Amazon also missing expectations. Actually pretty bad on the earnings, it looked like. It went down. Where are we? Amazon here. It went down to around that 3,200, and it's where it was a few days ago. If you like Amazon, remember that November does tend to be pretty good. We're looking for it to get through the downward trend here. So maybe a few days, maybe going to have to give a little bit of percentage away. 3,200 or 3,180, big support. Where it is right now, relatively good support. We'll be watching both stocks very, very closely because they now present some opportunity, and we'll definitely check those out. Other things, Tesla closed 3.78% up, 1,077, going from strength to strength at this stage. Twilio got absolutely smoked straight into support. So that was a big one. Some people are watching Snap on the way out. Zillow also coming through with a decent closure here. We'll see how that ends up trading. And X, one of the ones that most people probably weren't looking at, but we certainly had our eyes on from good TA, 2505, 7.14% after hours, with the earnings result coming out, pushing to a new all-time high. Congratulations, people in the Monday Hangout. Drop my pen. It's pretty damn good. I'm excited. The earnings is almost over in terms of the big ones. We now get to see some TA trading out, and that's going to be damn good. So thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoy the streams, please remember to subscribe. Smash that like button. I'll make another video over the next couple of hours, and we'll get through it. So, yeah, good luck, everybody. You can probably see why sometimes it's better just to wait for the earnings result and make your decision then. If you're investing, of course, you hold through those areas. If you're trading, there can be some risks there. So keep thinking about it. That's one of the things we want to do. Shibu, dead cat bounce from the TA side, back onto support. Usually those types of patterns form a new low. So we'll see how that plays out over the next 24 hours. Catch everyone. Bye for now.